Okay, so hey guys, the first ragam we're going to look at as part of this exercise is Nattai. Right, so if you saw the other post, we looked at the Carnatic kriti Swaminatha Paripalayamam, which is by Muthuswami Dikshit. It's quite a famous one. And there's a lot more really famous Carnatic pieces, but we'll kind of see them as we go on in this video, right? So Nattai's scale is the same scale in Hindustani is called jog, and it's not a lot of difference. It's different in the way that it's sung in Hindustani. It tries to evoke a different emotion compared to the one that Nattai does. And also they don't say sa-re-ga. Hindustani has kind of like two gas. So sa-ga. The re is a ga in Hindustani. We look at a famous bandish in Hindustani. So it's quite different. If you go listen to Carnatic and then Hindustani, you'll see that difference. Okay, that was Hindustani. Because we're talking about jog, let's see how jog has kind of filtered its way into Bollywood. And the first song we're going to look at is really old. It's 1959 from the movie Savan, in the voice of Mukesh ji and Lata ji. There's actually like two tempos going on. Now when Lata Mangeshkar's bits come in, they're at a completely different speed, and then it goes back and forth. It's quite interesting. So if you want to check it out, I think it's on YouTube. Someone's really found all these old songs and put it up, and it's a beautiful song. But let's go from 1959 to the 1998 Rahman classic, and this I'm hoping you will recognize. Influence in this. And the next one we're going to look at is also Rahman, 2001. This also I'm hoping you will recognize. Re is a giveaway for Nattai. In this song as well, and yeah, so that's all I want to cover for Bollywood. If you can think of more songs that ring out like jog, let me know and we'll add it in the list. Right, so let's go from Bollywood to Malayalam. This is the first one's a bit of a cheat. The Hindustani bandish we just saw, the Sajan More Ghar Aaye, it came in, there was like a fusion piece that came in the 2017 Malayalam movie Solo. It's got Dulquer Salman in it. And I think this one's by Filter Coffee, and it's a great fusion piece. It's called Sajan More Ghar Aaye, and I think it's got a little bit of Mahaganapatam towards the end as well. So that's one. The next one I wanted to look at in Malayalam it's older. 1990 from the movie His Highness Abdullah. It's got Mohanlal, Gautami, and it's in the voice of Yesudas. So you already know it's a brilliant song, and there's all of these intricate phrases that only Yesudas can sing. I'm gonna attempt a little bit of that. And it's beautiful, like indeed, like as you go on towards on, there's beautiful phrases. It's a bit of a Carnatic going on. And Sani pa ma ga ma pa re ne pa ma ga sa ga ma pa ga re sa. So it's a beautiful song, and with Yesudas, that timbre in his voice, it takes it to another level. So check out Pramadavanam if you haven't heard it. Okay, so from here we'll go on to Tamil playback, and there are so many songs, and I've really tried to narrow it down. And obviously they all start from way back, like with MSV and all of that, but for this video I wanted to start with 1982 Ilaiyaraja, and this is a classic. You've probably heard it. If you listen to Tamil music, you've probably heard it, or your parents would have heard this. Somebody's gonna have heard this. Okay. This is very famous, and it's you can see Nattai like throughout. Like when you go to the Charanams, are beautiful phrases. So you see that Nattai throughout, right? In the same year, Ilaiyaraja released another song. I'm going to see for so this is also a very, very famous song, and so both of these were Ilaiyaraja, 1982. The one we're going to see is 1995. 1995 in Basha's Rajnikant's Basha, music by Deva. Right? You've probably heard this. But before we talk about the song, I think I should say something here. When you say like a lot of playback, when you say it's based on a certain ragam, it's not necessary that the entire song is based in that ragam. A lot of the time, it's like only bits and portions that are based off of certain ragams, and then other ragams will walk in and out as they please. You will see that with this, right? Or there'll be like rogue notes that do not follow the framework of the ragam. We'll see it here. Let's go back to A. That ba was a rogue note. It's da. It does not fall under Nattai. And throughout the rest of the song, you kind of see Kedaram happen in between, and then it completely changes. But this bit of the song is Nattai from up to this ba. That is something else. Next song we're going to see, we're back to Rahman, 1997. And this is such a good song in the voice of Bombay Jayashree, so no brainer. So Bombay Jayashree and Unni Krishnan in 1997 from the album Iruvar, right? And so this song kind of stays in its classical lanes in terms of the style. You see that re, right? Later on in the song, there's Mand and all happening, but predominantly it follows like a Nattai, Gambhira Nattai, I think. And such a good song. If you haven't heard it, please go listen to it. The next song is also from the same album, and so Rahman, and but it sounds completely different, right? This is a jazz number, and it goes something like, "Hello, Mr. Edagachi, kelvikku badalum ennachu, kaathu kaathu naalachu, 18 vayasachu." You can see it, 18 vayasachu. It's got a very, and Harini is singing this, and she sung it so well, and I'll tell you why the song is interesting. I'll tell you now. So if you've heard Hello Mr. Elkachi, the song kind of begins with like a piano intro and then a couple of jazz chords and stuff. And I'm gonna play a jazz lick now, right? So I'm gonna shift us to F. And what this really reminded me of was something like that. And so this bit is actually from the 1993 jazz number Memphis Stomp. It's by Dave Grusin. So if you just heard this, and if you go back and listen to Hello Mr. Elkachi, you'll see that there's a lot of similarity between this intro, this jazz lick that I just played, and how Hello Mr. Elkachi starts. So I want to say it seemed heavily inspired by it. So what this kind of proves, why I showed this, is that Nattai is one of those ragams that really can allow for blues, for jazz improvisation, and I think it's a lot to do with that rishabam, the re note. Like you can have stuff like it allows for stuff like that. So it's one of those ragams. There are other ragams like this, but we'll see them another day. But Nattai has a lot of blues. It's very. Let's move on to 2004 from M. Kumaran, son of Mahalakshmi. We have Deva back. He gave us Tangamagan in 1995, and almost 10 years later, another song in Nattai. And this one is quite straightforward. You probably recognize this. You heard the Carnatic piece Mahaganapatham. Mahaganapatham manasa smarami chalai sangame marande munnale vasishta vamadeva divandita kerala natikiliye ni sollu vasiyam medhayo chalai sangame marande. So it's a very straightforward Nattai because you make that connection immediately. The next one we're going to see is also really straightforward. It's by Haris Jayaraj in 2005 in the movie Onion. And I was going to say, oh, this is recent, and then I realized 2005 was 15 years ago, and I am not okay. So in the movie, this song comes straight off the bat of, right off of Jagadananda Karaka, which is a pillar piece in Carnatic music, and an unbelievable piece, but that goes something like Jagadananda Karaka, and then this song starts. So that kind of brings me to the end of Nattai. So we saw Bollywood, we saw blues, we saw Malayalam, we saw Hindustani, and we saw Tamil playback. And I hope you found this as interesting as I did. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video with the next ragam.